Welcome to this demonstration that I'm doing for the ROR, and I'm working with Sailor here for the most part, who's owned by Julia, who we're just going to have a quick chat with before we start. Now in this demonstration we're going to be looking at managing spooky situations. So Julia, how long have you had Sailor?
I've had him 3 years now.
3 years?
Yeah.
And how's he been in that time?
When we first got him, he was straight from the trainer, so he was very sharp and spooky, and we have had quite a few issues with him. He's quite bolshy, and so it's been quite a long road really with him.
Yeah.
But he's getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've had a few issues on the ground?
Yes, he's not too bad at home, but going to events, he's very bolshy when you get him out of the box, running through me, not listening to me, sort of knocking me over. Has been known to sort of spin around and even kick out, not at anyone or anything, just sort of...
Just in sort of excitement and frustration?
I think it's the atmosphere of shows and things,
yeah.
Or sponsored rides, he just sort of gets to a point almost loses it.
Yeah. And what about ridden?
Ridden, he was very spooky and reacts to things I can't see, in the bushes, or he's fine with big tractors and things that you think they might, even bikes at Bedbury, he's all right with, but a lot of it is sunlight, I think, shadows, and he seems to be quite reactive in woods, coming out of woods.
So he can be an interesting character.
Yeah.
And
quirky, I think the word.
Quirky. Welcome to this lesson on how to deal with horses that spook. Now, you can get really caught up in your horse's body and shoulder ins and all sorts of movements to remedy a horse that's spooking or looking at something. But before you get to that point, you first have to worry about where you're going, not how you're going. Now, the most fundamental thing is focus. So when your horse is worried about a spooky object, what you need to do is focus on where you're going and try to keep your horse pointing in that direction. That is, above all else, the most important thing to focus on should you be riding a spooky horse. And this by itself will steadily reduce the amount of spooking that your horse does. If you get a bit nervous and a bit worried, you might make your horse claustrophobic. So you start to hold on to your horse in anticipation they're going to do something wrong. And that happens when you're not sure what you need to do. You don't have a purpose in your riding. Hence, focus, ride in that direction, go forward. So I want to give you a couple of really simple tips to help manage a spooky situation and improve your horse's reactions, so they're not jumping sideways or looking to run off. It just turns into maybe a deviation, but you continue on where you're going. If your focus is on that point, then instantly your horse goes away from that point. You'll be quick to correct. And that is something that I was speaking to a friend of mine, Charlie Unwin, who said that if you allow your feel and your focus to direct how your body operates, you can be up to 10 times quicker in your responses than if you're thinking about how to do it. So it is a really, really... He's in a new environment, this guy. It's a really, really important exercise that can't be understated. It is so important. So we're going to look at how that plays out here. We've put a little spooky object behind me, and I'm just going to show you how a horse might respond, and more importantly, how I respond. Okay, so I haven't really shown him this object yet. So I'm just going to trot past it and see how he goes. I'm coming past it. He's had a look. Now, there it is, perfect. I'm focused wholly and solely on that Mark Scott sign. Now his head went and deviated and his body sort of deviated a little bit, but because my focus was over there, I was correcting and saying, keep going forward. So my body was saying, keep going to that point, and just a little bit this way, there you go. So I'm making those corrections as I come past. Let's have a look at that as I'll come back towards you. So trotting on. There's the ears, there's the deviation, and my focus is right on you guys. Okay. All right, so that is number one. One more time. Now I've noticed, as I'm going along, I'm noticing his ears. There. Good. And over. Now let's see what happens to this reaction. Now I'm going to ride towards the corner. Corner, corner, corner. I might sit down, lower my centre of gravity. So that is another really good point. As you're going along, my horse feels the ears come up, and that instantly tells me my horse is going, what is that? So if that happens, I instantly want to lower my centre of gravity. This is what I call the oh my gosh position. So I bring my upper body back slightly, breathe in through my nose and out through my mouth, and let my body sink down into my horse. So there. Oh my gosh. This allows me to be able to negotiate and direct my horse, but key to being able to use my hands effectively is that I can stay balanced on my horse. As soon as I get tipped forward, it compromises my ability to control my horse. So that's another really, really important point in being able to stay fixed and focused on where you're going. Okay. Let's have another little look at that as we come past. So here his eyes, he's on that corner. So I might just pick something around the corner, come past again, look there, ride and forward. You'll notice as I'm going past, he doesn't get blocked in his movement because there I'm staying fixed on H, and there's H. There's H. Oh, God. Okay, there's H. Okay, good. Right. And we'll talk about that one in just a second. Now ride past again. Stay there. And past again. And there. Good. H, good. Corner, starting to get much better responses now. Good. So we've still got the right side is still a little bit edgy. Ride through there. And forward. Pick that point. C, good. E, looking at a marker. Good. And forward. Okay. One more time, the sign. Good. Okay, and relax. Okay, so there was a dramatic improvement after quite a dramatic response in that video. Now you could see as I came past, he had a spook, and then basically he ran off with me. Now my focus didn't change, which is really important to understand right there. So he tried to get his head away from H, and I was saying we're going to H, and I was directing him with just my left rein or my right rein. And if he tries to move a long way away from it, then the pressure on that rein is going to increase. When he's going back towards the point that I'm suggesting he goes, it becomes really easy. And that means your horse is going to start to look in the direction that you want to go, because if they try and go off in the wrong direction, they run into bit pressure, which is me directing them. Now, Sailor here, he wasn't actually running from the spooky object. That's what started the response. What he was actually running from was bit pressure. So when he ran off, I said, we're going to H, and he felt the more bit pressure he felt, the more worried he became. So this instantly tells me that the foundations with Sailor in terms of being able to direct my horse past the spooky object could be improved. And even doing this exercise, this and staying focused and keep riding to where you want to go to, even if it does get a little bit untidy like that, can be really beneficial in teaching them that, oh, I'm going to try and run away. Actually, if I go in the direction that I'm asked to, it's easy. And horses will gravitate to the easy option. So there we are. And you could see as I kept sort of riding past this object, which he's a bit worried about, the level of spook was starting to decrease. And that will be ongoing. So I hope that's been useful. It was quite a dramatic demonstration, that one. But it is nice to know that when you get in that situation, you'll be doing the right thing if you just stay focused on where you're going and have the controls to get you there. I've got a great exercise that I use to help horse and rider learn to control their horse using a direct rein. So it's basically being able to show your horse that where you direct them is going to be a good place, and also helps you to learn to position your body so that you become really adept at direction and directing. So Julia here, who owns Sailor, I'm entrusting to do some groundwork for me. Now in this exercise, Julia, it is more important that your timing is good than it almost is mine. All right, so you're going to be in the center of the circle, Julia, so jump in there. And what I'd like you to do is when I say come towards me, I want you to lift that up and just walk towards the hip. Okay, so show him the bag. Now at this point in time, you know Sailor, you use just enough maybe to provoke a slight reaction, but I'm not looking for a huge flight response. Okay. All right, so I don't want you to come running at him and try and send me across the arena. It's just triggering something that might make him go, oh, what's that? And then what's going to happen is, what you're looking out for is as you walk to him, if he gets worried and wants to shoot off, and he'll tend to shoot forward because you'll be coming here, a little bit more to his hip. If you come in front, if you direct your energy to the front of him, he's going to swing his shoulders away, which is much harder to ride and makes it difficult to achieve my objective. So we're going to start off with you coming to the hip. Now when I turn towards you, if I turn towards you, I want you to instantly turn around and walk away. All right? So let's do that. When you're ready, I'm going to assume the position. So look, I'm in my oh my gosh position. I've got a hug on, lowered my center of gravity, and I know if he's going to run, he's going to go forwards or that way. So I'm ready with my inside rein.
Do you want me to wave it?
Yeah, just a little bit, just to create a little bit of response. But only as much as you think he can tolerate without going completely, becoming completely irrational. Okay, when you're ready. Yep. That's it. So come towards the hind end. That's it, that'll do. Stop. Good. Very good. Now, what's just happened there, Julia, is as you were walking towards him, I could tell he was a little worried. He was going, what are you doing there? But I could tell because of the shape of his body and where his ears were, they were looking, going, oh my gosh, I'm not sure about that. So if you had gone suddenly like that, there would have been a big response. It's not what we're looking for. We're looking to teach the rider. So if you practice this at home, it's about teaching the rider that turn. So as you got a bit closer, he started to go, I don't think I can cope with this. And then I turned. Instantly I turned him towards you, you're walking away. So in his mind, if he turns towards the spooky object, it moves away, therefore it's gone. So that becomes a good idea for this horse, to accept that turn that I'm giving and go in the direction, because it all gets better when you do that. So we're not just helping the rider, we're helping the horse to understand, follow where I'm pointing, and it improves. Okay, so let's do it again. We'll do it on the other side, just check that. So I'm riding around now. Okay, when you're ready. Yep. So I'm in my oh my gosh position. He's starting to go, so I'm going to turn. Good. Now what can you tell me about your timing there?
A bit slow.
Yeah. So your timing was just slightly off. You gave one more wave as I was turning. So that's where it's really important, because that extra one can send him a little bit too far away and make my job really difficult. So, and that's not what this exercise is about. It's just about creating an environment where a horse might start to feel a bit, oh my gosh, and get the rider used to that sensation and getting adept at controlling the situation, as opposed to just freezing and blocking up. So it's a great exercise, like I say, as much for the rider as it is for the horse. Okay, Julia, let's have one more look on this rein. So you might do a little more, not too much, just do a little more and just see what sort of response we get. Okay, when you're ready? Yep. Okay. So almost there, what we could have done, because you were getting pretty close, weren't you?
Yeah.
And he wasn't really responding.
No.
So at that point, I might, if I get to a certain point where the next thing I'm going to have to do is bump him with it, is I might go, he hasn't responded, so I'm just going to walk away.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't done anything, he hasn't reacted to a bag flapping.
So I should walk away.
Yeah, you just keep walking past.
Yeah.
Fall out behind him and just let him go, and he'll go, oh, I don't have to worry about a flappy thing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try one more on the other side. This tends to be the way he's more reactive, isn't it? Okay, so start from a little further away. Okay, when you're ready. Yep. So there's the flight, bend, there's the release, and stop there. So can you see how that's going to help him to start to understand about the turn and all that sort of thing? Great. So it's a really good exercise to just have a little go at once, twice a week for a little while, and you'll become really accustomed to that turn. And that turn is great for dealing with horses that spook, or those horses that stop going forward and want to spin. If you can do that turn, you can correct that. And we saw him in action a little earlier, and that's where doing this sort of work is really going to help, you know, reduce that sort of running away from objects or from the bit and going where you direct him. So there we are, guys. Few tips to help keep you on the straight and narrow, as it were. Hope they've been useful, and good luck with it all. Take care. Bye.